Okay, so this is Will, and Will sometimes is a nice guy, sometimes he's not. Mostly he's kind of self-centered, so he's willing to do things where he takes advantage of you so that he gets what he wants. But other times he's a nice guy and he'll do things for people, but it's just a matter of how is he feeling in the moment. So because he's so impulsive and emotional, he has a pressure cooker in his chest. And pressure cooker, if you're an older person, you might know this, but pressure cookers were very common back in the day. I think they're making a comeback, but the lid had latches that it attached down, and so when the steam was building up in there, it couldn't escape, and it would build up and penetrate the food. So you could cook potatoes or meat much faster and through to the middle because the heat couldn't escape, it was trapped, right? So you had to have a regulator on it though, with a valve to where you could let steam out, because you can only get so much pressure in there and it will explode. So you had to watch a pressure cooker, and when you saw that it went from safe range into dangerous range, you had to open that valve and let some steam out. Now that was also a clue for you that you also needed to turn your fire down, because your fire is going to make that gauge go right back to the high pressure stage again pretty quickly if you don't bring the heat down. So this is an analogy or a metaphor for his emotional and impulsive way of being. And so he's got that pressure cooker in his chest, but he doesn't have to have that. He could learn to live according to values that would keep him more stable. He could develop some coping skills to keep him more stable. He could learn to problem solve, and he could take better care of himself. And so Will here, that when he's not doing these things, he's at the mercy of how much pressure is there. He may not know how to turn that fire down, he may not know how to open that valve, and he may be exploding on people. So again, if he lives by better values of being safe and honest and respectful and responsible to people, he can control this and not be at the mercy of, well, bad things were happening around me, so I exploded. There's nothing I can do about that. It's like, yeah, there are things you can do about it, but you have to have some way of regulating yourself. So this is about learning to self-regulate. And the first step in that is knowing that you need to self-regulate. The second is, what are some coping skills that you can do so that you can immediately regulate yourself? If I'm stressed up to here, I need to do something. For me, that's take a walk and listen to some music. Brings me down within 5 minutes. I can handle a little bit more stress if I have to, because I've taken a lot of that stress and let it go. And if I get stressed again within the next 2 hours or whatever, then I can go take another break, walk around, listen to some music, bring it back down. I might have to do that a few times to get through a really bad day. But better that I do that than that I just explode on people. And values, again, if I have values of being loving and caring towards people, then I live according to those values, then I'm not going to explode, because exploding is not being loving and caring. So I won't allow myself to do that. I'm going to use my coping skills instead. I'm going to problem solve. Do I really need to keep this job if I find that I keep getting really stressed out and wanting to explode on people? Maybe the thing to do is for me to start looking for another job. So I can do something else. Maybe I don't take good enough care of myself. Maybe I need to do a little bit more. Maybe if I'm working 12-hour days, 6 days, 7 days a week, I need to go, hey, you know what? I need a break. I need to, maybe I don't need to change jobs. Maybe I just need to not work so much. And if I was only doing this for 40 hours a week, then maybe that's more manageable for me. And I spend some time doing some recreational things to relieve my stress, taking walks, going someplace and hiking in nature, spending time with people who I have a loving and caring relationship with. Maybe I need to do some things to care for myself more. So, these are all options of things that I can do, but maybe I'm not doing that, and I need to know that. I need to assess myself and say, am I doing what I need to so that I quit having these feelings like I'm so stressed out, I've got so much pressure built up inside of me that I just am barely holding back from exploding from one day to the next.